Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more. Coming to Dallas, Texas, September 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2018, the Blockchain and Future Tech Expo. This is going to be a gigantic conference of over 5,000 people. We're going to be talking about blockchain and its applications. We're going to be talking about quantum computing, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and several other future technologies that are poised to and actually changing our lives as we speak. Here's why you should attend. As you may know, early adopters are the ones that investigated and profited from things like the gold rush in the 1800s, from the dot-com boom in the 1990s, from the internet boom in 2005, from the smartphone explosion in 2007, from the real estate boom that ended in 2008, and of course, from the Bitcoin boom that started in 2012. Early adopters act now. They don't wait till later. They go out west first, in their covered wagons. They find the biggest gold nuggets. If you consider yourself an early adopter and you want to find the biggest nuggets, then you owe it to yourself to attend this upcoming conference. Blockchain is going to affect how we control and store our medical data, how we send money around the world, how we bank, and more. But artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and cybersecurity will play a pivotal role in our lives as well. And that's why our next event, September 14th to the 16th at the Dallas Convention Center, is going to have not only 5,000 plus attendees, but will showcase blockchain, AI, cybersecurity, quantum computing, and more. You want to get in on the coming gold rush of future tech and opportunity as an early adopter. Don't be left out. To register, go to bftexpo.com. That's blockchainfuturetechexpo.com. Thank you. Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with Future Tech Podcast. My guest today is Nikil Jain, co-founder of Oben. The website is oben.me. Nikhil, how you doing?
Not too bad, Rich. Yourself?
Good. Yeah, thanks for coming. Tell me about Oben. What do you guys do?
Yeah, Oben is an artificial intelligence company based out of Los Angeles, California. And we make what we call virtual copies of humans. These virtual copies, they look like you, they talk in your voice, they have a personality like yours. And it's very easy to make. All it takes is one selfie, a few sentences, and now these virtual copies, or what we refer to as PIs, personal AI, you can actually start using them right away. And our team, we are based in Pasadena, and we are 50 plus people, with about 70% of them being like top AI engineers and scientists from schools like Caltech, Carnegie Mellon, Berkeley, and MIT.
Well, that's crazy. So a selfie, a picture of you, and you read a few sentences to emulate your voice. Is that how it works, or what's needed to emulate a person?
To emulate a person, like we look at it from a visual standpoint, an auditory standpoint, and from the personality and brain. So these are the three fundamental components of how we look at a virtual copy of a human. So to make your visual avatar, if you may, to give it a visual representation, all it takes is one 2D selfie from your phone. Could be like an iPhone or an Android phone, just one selfie, and now we can recreate a 3D model of you in a matter of seconds. And after that, if you speak a few sentences into the app, the AI will start learning how you sound, and it will then start creating a speech in your voice as well. So you can now combine your face and your voice with full animation, all driven by AI, to actually to make it look and sound like you as well. And on top of that, you can actually train it with your personality. Like, let's say, for example, you can potentially connect it with your LinkedIn profile so that it can learn who you are. And now you can ask it a question, and it becomes like a chatbot, if you may, that it will look like you, it will talk in your voice, and it can answer things about you as well.
Would it surprise you to know that I'm a a PAI that you're talking to right now? I'm just kidding.
that, that would be pretty awesome, actually. And I would say that, yeah, that sounds like Oben technology, actually.
So what's this is kind of crazy and spooky. I mean, what's the goal of doing something like this? What do you envision it being used for?
So, like one of the reasons we started Oben, the inspiration was like from our personal experiences at home. I have young kids at home, and I realized that whenever I would travel, my kids would trouble my wife a lot. It was because they would miss me a lot, and I felt that what if there was a copy of me back home? It looked like me, it talked in my voice, and my wife could use it to interact with my kids, and it would make my kids miss me less and make my wife happier. So
Huh.
that was one of the founding inspirations for the company. And now we are actually working with so many of our partners and customers to create applications, not just to read bedtime stories to kids with their Pi, but also like for telehealth applications. We are working with like a top insurance company and healthcare company in Asia to create telehealth between patients and AI of doctors, Pis of doctors. We're using these pies for retail shopping experiences. We're working with top celebrity companies to create pies of celebrities and more use cases with their fans. So the opportunities and the applications are endless with the fundamental pie of a consumer and and any individual out there.
This is weird concept. What's it like to interact with a pie? I mean, what reactions have you gotten from yourself and other people?
It's been a learning process for us in which we started realizing that like it's not just enough to make a static pie, but it's also very important to give it a give a user the ability to customize it and personalize it to what they want. So in this case, what we do is that when your pie is ready, you can actually go dress it up. You can put on more hair, more muscle. You can choose some dresses for it, pants. You can change your physical characteristics as well. And also, we go to extreme lengths to make it as less uncanny as possible. So, for example, we use AI to actually also map the muscle movements of your face, the eyes, how the connection between your eyes and your lips happen as well when your pie is talking. So we actually take a lot of measures for those things too. But also it comes down to the fun factor of it. Like if I'm able to create new content and send it to my friends out there, if I'm able to use this pie to actually get some timely reminders to go to my doctor's office or take my pills on time. So those are the kind of applications we're driving as well by just the usage of these pies.
Do you think it would be used, let's say, by the elderly that maybe have dementia or senility, and it could be an avatar of like a loved one that would help them, remind them to take their pills or something like that?
Yes, and that applies at peer pressure. Like a lot of seniors, they either forget to take pills on time, or they just do not want to take them at all. So the loved one or a trusted one, their pie, can actually provide those reminders to take those medications on time or to go to the appointments on time as well.
Huh. Very unusual. What are the kinds of customization? I mean, how advanced is the AI? I don't know if this would pass a Turing test. What kinds of things would people say back to the pie, and how would the pie respond? How broad is its ability to respond?
So the part of the chatbot is very what we call narrow domain. In this case, the personality is dependent completely upon you. As in, if you need to ask a question about the weather or the traffic, then there's a lot of broad domain chatbots out there from Siri to Google Home and Alexa. But if you want to interact with your favorite celebrity and ask your favorite celebrity, or such as like Taylor Swift, hey, what's the inspiration behind this particular song? How did you rehearse so hard? How did you practice so hard to become a great singer? How do you work out? That kind of narrow domain information can be extracted. The chatbot can be trained for such information, and with a combination of your synthetic voice and your face and animation can be used to create a more immersive experience between the fan and the celebrity.
Are there any examples that people can see this in action? I mean, what's people's reaction? Do they love it? Do they think it's weird? Do they make the sign of the cross and run away? I mean, what do they think?
So far, I think we have found that if the interaction consists of extreme personalization, such as if the pie of the celebrity is able to address me with my name, it actually definitely creates that personal connection between the pie and the fan. One thing we realized about sometime last year that to make it really, really close to human was not the best way to do it. And so we started adding more, let's say, cartoonish features to it or more cosmetic features to it, which actually reduced the uncanny valley tremendously to improve the interaction. In terms of giving you some live examples, so we actually partnered up with a leading K-pop company called SM Entertainment, in which we are creating the pies of top celebrities and creating interactions with their fans. That should be launched sometime later this year. So we are in the midst of lots of testing with different use cases, and so far the reactions have been quite positive, actually.
Do you have to feed the pie? Like, is it helpful for the celebrity to, answer like 20 questions and feed that into the pie? Because some people may ask those exact questions, or they may ask other ones, and maybe that would help inform the other ones too.
Yeah, actually we work with the agents, with the agent and the manager of the celebrities, and they take the time to train. We give them some questionnaires as well, so they can train the pie of their client accordingly. So these questionnaires might include information which is publicly known, or it's quite private, or things which that the fans will ask them for. So we try to predict those as well after working with the agency, which then can be used.
Very interesting. Well, all right. So the celebrity angle works so far. How long does it take to create a pie? Let's say you were demoing this live. Where does this happen? Do people do it over their phone or just with their laptop? And how long does it take to create a pie?
We actually did some live demos last week with about 1,300 people in a packed audience. And all it takes is about one selfie, about 10 seconds, 15 seconds max, to actually get the first visual aspect of your pie. And then we demonstrated that now your pie can start singing in your voice, and all it needs is one sentence from you. And actually, this was all captured live on stage. So the first app from Oben is going to be launched later this month or early next month. And it will be available on iOS, and sometime after that, later in April, in Android as well. And I should also mention that we also actually make use of Project Pi's blockchain technology to completely authenticate and verify your pie before it's being used. So all the pies go through an authentication process on the Project Pi blockchain.
Wow. Okay. What is it better for you to interact with your pie multiple times and not just the one time to make it function better? I mean, how much effort does it take to make a truly great one that works well?
So the chatbot part is one of the most difficult parts of the entire pie interaction process. So we do actually provide that capability that, hey, whenever you get some time, let's say to start things off, you can connect it with your LinkedIn profile so it can extract some basic information. And then we are working on providing some very simple questionnaire. Hey, whenever you get some time, provide some more information about your likes, your dislikes, so that your pie can learn. And as you know, AI is like a baby when it starts. It requires humans to put in that effort, that extra effort to actually make your AI useful, and it can take time. So the visual part, the speech part, the animation part is ready to go in the app that you will see later this month. The personality part is something that we're going to be launching sometime in Q3 or Q4. And I should mention that in the app that you're going to see, and we will actually send you some screenshots as well of this app. It is completely free to create your pie. We do not charge anything for that. Yeah.
Well, what are some other applications that we haven't talked about? You talked about celebrities talking to their fans. You talked about maybe helping the elderly, remind them to take their pills and stuff. I mean, What other applications do you see this being used for as time goes on?
We recently got a Series B investment of $10 million from a large retail company called K11. They operate high-end malls in Asia, and they are planning on using like Pi technology for having a concierge experience for their shoppers. So the way it works is that let's say that you're going to their mall, and when you get out of the parking lot, your favorite celebrity would come up in augmented reality, and this celebrity can now ask you, "Hey, Rich, what are you looking for?" "Well, I'm looking for a black leather jacket. This is my budget," and this concierge can then help you. Like say, "Hey, Rich, I think I know I've already analyzed the mall, and there's about 3 shops right now which have something available in your budget." So it can actually guide you to those 3 shops. It can even, when you go to the shops, it can even say, "Hey, Rich, guess what? I have a 10% discount coupon for you as well, which you can use when you buy this jacket." And also, it can also have your Pi dressed up in those jackets available for you to see before you even go inside those shops, because your Pi will be having your physical dimensions. It looks like you, so you can save a lot of time as well. Before you go into the shops to see what it might look on you, you can even share that with your friends to get their feedback before you buy it. So that's another application we are working on in retail.
That's crazy. Yeah. What about your Pi analyzing who it interacts with and giving you insight based on that? Let's say a celebrity and a Pi interacts with over time, 7,000 different fans. What about an outward look where, your software profiles and analyzes who it's talking to and comes up with data based on, again, the audience, and relays that back to you?
So my co-founder, he actually, before he co-founded Oben with me, he actually used to be the co-founder of one of China's largest dating companies. It's called By Her. It's got, I believe, about 190 million users at this point of time. And it's like the eHarmony of China. So one of the things that he's working on is how to actually use Pies for dating. So in the way it would work is that we are busy during the days. We're so busy right now working or going to school and colleges. And I can now tell my Pi, "Hey, I'm looking for this kind of a person." And my Pi can now go and look at different profiles. It can actually interact with other people and actually learn from them, and then come back to me and recommend to me that, "Hey, Nikhil, I think that these 3 people are the most appropriate ones for you to spend time with. Shall we go to the next level of interaction?" So in this way, my Pi can be used to save me time as well. But also, my Pi is actually learning from the interaction from other people and making me appropriate recommendations as well.
Interesting. Is there any space for Pies interacting with Pies to see if, again, the 2 people can work together, and then only, like you said, when a higher level interaction is warranted, then the real people would interact with each other?
I think that's a very difficult technical problem at this point of time, Rich. It's like, it reminds me of a lot of those YouTube videos where Siri and Alexa are talking to each other.
I didn't know they had that. I got to look at those.
Oh yeah, they have everything. They have it on YouTube, I'm sure. But yes, I don't think it's ready for that level yet. We hope in the future that yes, ideally my Pi and your Pi should be able to talk with each other, interact with each other, and just say, "Yeah, you know what? This is what Rich wants. This is what I want." And potentially in the future, our BMIs, our brain-machine interfaces, can take care of the rest. But we're not there yet.
Well, I guess a Pi could make very low. A Pi can almost be like a secretary in my thinking. If it knew how you would react to certain low-level, non-consequential decisions, it at some point maybe could be entrusted to make those decisions for you. Nothing crazy or of consequence, and it would act as like a true personalized assistant that would do things in the way you wanted them to be done.
Yeah, actually, my colleague Jeff will send you a video that we made as a use case. This was at the request of one of our investors. And this video was showing how you could actually use your Pi for teleportation for conferences. So let's say the two of us are having a call now on the phone. I wish I could see you. It could become more personal, but you might be home, and you don't want me to see your surroundings out there. And I could actually see you, your pie in front of me in augmented reality. It looks like you, it talks in your voice, but whenever you're talking into the app, into the phone, it actually is animating and speaking in your voice with your facial characteristics, and it makes it a very intimate connection. And you can do the same thing at your end. It's as if we're sitting with each other, but we're not.
You could have your wife like yell at you, using her pie, and I got
My wife already told me that she prefers my pie more than me, so I think we're well past that.
I don't know. I don't mean to go towards the negative, but what happens if someone's pie, they put a sniffer on it and they see how it interacts with all the people that pie interacts with, and they take that data and use it for a nefarious purpose, so they hack someone's pie and they have it say or do things that would be contrary to what that person would say or do, but somehow because people think it's that person's will, that it causes them trouble.
Yeah, and like we started thinking about, when you start a startup, you're always thinking about the positive things you want to do in life. And you want to use technology for the better of the world, to make it a better place. And then once the technology passes a tipping point and it's in the hands of a ton of potential customers and consumers, you start thinking about the implications of it and the negative parts of the technology as well. And we started going into this, we started going deeper into what could be the downfalls of the technology that we have created. We started looking at how it could be misused as well, such as, what if I take your LinkedIn picture and I can make your pie and record this conversation which you are, and start creating your pie but misuse it as well. So which is when we started going into looking into blockchain, which is that how can we actually authenticate anyone's pie, and before and attach it to you, register it on the blockchain before it can be used by the owner. And that actually, it reduces the probability of it being hacked or misused tremendously, because the data is now controlled by you, it's owned by you, and you control the keys to the data. And it's all stored on your blockchain wallet and it's registered to you as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. Again, what about the data that the pie gets? Again, let's say I'm a celebrity and my pie ends up interacting with 10,000 fans. Mm-hmm. Is there going to be a feature where I can capture the data of what people said to the pie, most frequently asked questions, were they happy or unhappy with the responses? What about for intelligence gathering? Can I use my pie as a proxy to figure out stuff for me based on all the data it receives?
Yes, and all the data actually, it is getting the data for the interaction. And the way we look at it is that it's not just owned by you and controlled by you, but it also is a learning mechanism for you. So you would then, as you suggested, you would then find out, what do people care the most about you? What are the most common questions that people care for? And you could actually, just like how Netflix finds out what kind of content people like to watch, and then they reinvest more money into that kind of content. Same thing, a celebrity actually is looking at using his pie as a way to get a better pulse of what their fans want from them.
Okay, makes sense. What does Oben stand for?
Oben in German means above everything, on top of everything. And so we look at our applications as, let's say, the face of AI or the voice of AI, and which is why we started looking into different ways to convey that. And we thought of Oben, which is actually also a play on words of open, the P flipped to make a B.
Okay, very good. So what's going on for you guys in the next 12 months? What kind of developments are coming? What's on your roadmap?
So we are investing a lot into having our AI compatible with Project Pi's blockchain. Have you heard of Project Pi blockchain?
No, tell me a little bit about it. Which blockchain are you using, and is there a token, and what's that like?
So we when we started looking at the security of our Pi, we looked at different blockchains, and we we decided that Project Pi blockchain was the most appropriate one for us because it offered the verification features we were looking for. And also there is a robust roadmap out there which helps make the computation capabilities of AI to be distributed across different nodes and make the processing more economical rather. And as part of the roadmap for Pi, we are not just investing more and more to make the technology more user-friendly, working on different use cases in areas of entertainment, retail, healthcare, education, but also we are now investing a lot into blockchain as well to see how our Pi technology could be more compatible with blockchain to make it more secure for the users and also more useful long-term as well.
Okay. Do you guys have a token associated with it, or is it just you're going to be using the blockchain again to just make sure that someone's Pi is theirs and it's not misused?
Yeah, Oben does not have any token associated with it. Project Pi, and actually your listeners are welcome to check out the Project Pi website. It's Project Pi, projectpi.com. They can even go and sign up to get updates on the blockchain. They can read the white papers on it. Project Pi does have its own token, its own coin, which actually it uses it as part of the what it refers to as the humanistic information economy, so that people can actually get compensated for the effort they do. It's their kind of proof of work as well. So Project Pi does have a coin solution, but Oben does not.
All right, very good. So you can check out Project Pi and then oben.me.
That's great.
Excellent. So what's the best way? I mean, you probably just said it, but any other ways for people to get in contact with you to find out more or to try out their own Pi and to make one up for themselves? Yeah,
so we will actually send you some information about the upcoming app release, which is going to happen sometime next month. It's called Paiyo, P-A-I-Y-O. So your listeners are welcome to go to paiyo.com and sign up for the app release, and they will get it in their. They will get notification of the release next month.
Well, very good, Nikhil. Anything else I should have asked you that I left out that's important?
Yeah, we believe that every person in the world will soon have their own Pi, their own copy. And we are looking forward to hearing back from your listeners what they feel about Paiyo when they make their Pi, and we would love to actually see the content they create for that as well.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, definitely. Because I'd like to try it out. I'm sure it'd be really funny and strange and probably embarrassing. Yeah. You know, you see yourself and maybe you don't realize how you sound or how you appear. You know. Well, very good. Well, Nikhil, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Same here. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Coming to Dallas, Texas, September 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2018, the Blockchain and Future Tech Expo. This is going to be a gigantic conference of over 5,000 people. We're going to be talking about blockchain and its applications. We're going to be talking about quantum computing, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and several other future technologies that are poised to and actually changing our lives as we speak. Here's why you should attend. As you may know, early adopters are the ones that investigated and profited from things like the gold rush in the 1800s, from the dot-com boom in the 1990s, from the internet boom in 2005, from the smartphone explosion in 2007, from the real estate boom that ended in 2008, and of course, from the Bitcoin boom that started in 2012. Early adopters act now. They don't wait till later. They go out west first. In their covered wagons, they find the biggest gold nuggets. If you consider yourself an early adopter and you want to find the biggest nuggets, then you owe it to yourself to attend this upcoming conference. Blockchain is going to affect how we control and store our medical data, how we send money around the world, how we bank, and more. But artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and cybersecurity will play a pivotal role in our lives as well. And that's why our next event, September 14th to the 16th at the Dallas Convention Center, is going to have not only 5,000 plus attendees, but will showcase blockchain, AI, cybersecurity, quantum computing, and more. You want to get in on the coming gold rush of future tech and opportunity as an early adopter. Don't be left out. To register, go to bftexpo.com. That's blockchainfuturetechexpo.com. Thank you. You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.